This update, we've got motive power rolling stock updates with the F units, the articulated, as well as some weathering jobs finished and car kit progress. We've got progress on a house kit. We've got a couple of announcements, very big ones, as well as some new subscriber shoutouts and a channel shoutout. So as always, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so this is going to be a LAT update for October 28th, 2018. And first off, I'm sorry it has been so insanely long. But, yeah, not much has been happening down here. I've just honestly been steadily working on 2 car kits, and that's about it. And then fiddling with this thing a lot to try and get an idea of what's wrong. But I've got an idea of what's wrong. I've just got to sit down, go through some stuff, and then order the parts. So this is kind of semi-temporarily on the not dead track, but the rip track, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, anyways. Oh, and this time I got a list. So we'll see if I can do this right. Anyways, let's go ahead and start with the rolling stock updates, and then we will go from there. So, obviously, you saw the articulated first. What the deal is with this thing, I tried to shoot some opening clips where it came out of the staging yard, and it kept stalling. First I thought it was maybe a loose wire down here, but it wasn't. All leads were resawed. I took a couple of the pin plugs out, and I noticed, well, I don't know if it'll show up, but the plugs on the circuit board there, maybe you can see that, but where that brass is sticking through, I pull them out to where the wheels were disconnected. The only thing connected was the tender, and it still did it. So I pulled it up. I took some liquid electrical tape and coated the bottom all in there, and it still did it. So, but the only thing I think it could possibly be left, darn, that's a horrible sentence. The only thing left that I think it could possibly be, there we go, is that stupid circuit board. So, yeah. That's going to be a pain in the rear. I'm not going to bother replacing the thing. I think what I'm going to do is get some of those little tiny pin plugs like that from Micromark, or some connectors or something, and I'll order those, and then I'll just use those to replace that. That's what I'll do with that. So that's going to be part of an order. That'll be a couple weeks out, but when it gets here, it should fix it, and this thing will be back in commission. As far as the other one, that had the bound up truck, that thing's, I'm just going to bite the bullet and replace it. I've got a couple feelers out, and then if I make it to the Mid-America Toy and Train Show on the 25th, a friend of mine has a buddy there who has a bunch of steam locomotive parts and wheels and gears and everything else. So once I get there, Leon said he'd introduce me to the guy, and who knows, if I get lucky, maybe he'll have the part. I can get him off a Bachman, but it's like $50. I don't want to pay that much yet. I want to see what else I can get, and then if I have to, as a last resort, yeah, I'll go ahead and get the part. But we'll see what pans out with that. So that's where that is. I keep having problems with this stupid thing. It gets so annoying. But anyways, on to happier things. First off, GS finished, and oh man, does this car look awesome. This is the AccuRail 20s built wooden boxcar with the wood sheathing. It's got the grain door on it. Unfortunately, these don't open. Yeah, but I tell you, I really love the way this came out. This was not paint wash. This was the powders that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. So I am extremely impressed with these. But I did the ends. I did the top. I love how that makes it look just a little really grimy metal. We did the bottom. I did the bottom. We got rust on the edge. And then, oh my God. There you go. I even went in. And, okay, granted, nobody's going to see this well. If this was on the top deck, you'd see the air cylinders and whatnot. And granted, you won't see the sills. But, I mean, look at that detail, people. That's just, I mean, these work. Now between my shaky hand, the camera's not going to focus. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I just love it. I love it. I love it. And then, of course, you know, the wheels and the trucks. And this is the first car where I had to adjust neither the coupler height or the trip pins. It was already within NMRA clearance, which is fantastic. So that's what's up with that. The next little project I've been tackling is the shell for my Blue Box F units. You can barely see it. Well, okay. Can you even see it? Well, you can kind of see it. There's two pieces of brass tubing in there. One for the headlight up top, one for the Mars light on the bottom. Contrary to popular belief, just an FYI for some of you, the top light is the headlight and the bottom light is the Mars light. And those would usually be flashing when passenger trains came in because it was basically a warning beacon. It was a gyroscopic rotating light and it was basically a warning. So put that in there. I tried to drill it out. I need to go back with some maulers, putty, fill it, and sand it. But, I mean, heck, I think this looks, you know, I've got light tubes. So, next step is to take care of the marker lights, which I have drilled out, and then at some point the number boards. So, I'll leave the number boards for now. The next step, though, is to put the lighting in. Well, actually the next step is to get this frame masked off and spray painted. And then I'll worry about wiring it up. So, and I've got the other F unit shell that I need to do that too. So it is coming slowly but surely. Slowly but surely it's coming. So that is that. The next car is the one for Jax. I'm slowly, ever so slowly getting it on there. You can see we've got the ladders, we've got the grab iron. Well, that's a stirrup step. There we have some grab irons. So, I got the ender frame on. I'm going to replace those with Katie coupler boxes. That's why that's been hacked off. And then I did the rest on the underside here with those same powders. So, I'm telling you, I'm really, really loving those things. They look as good as those oil or what's the other one? Darn it. They look as good as paint wash as far as I'm concerned. They're awesome. So, that is pretty much it as far as rolling stock. If we turn around the aisle and get motion sickness in the process, we got some work on the house. So, first off, I've taken the, darn, this won't show. Will this show? Will this show? Will it show? Will it show? Well, darn, you can't hardly see it, but I've gone over that with some Indie ink, gotten all grimied up. The front porch is coming along. We've got our deck with our little last work on the side. Put that one back too far. I had to trim the notch out of it to fit. And then, of course, for the walls, we've got the front, which has a coat of Indie ink on it, and then the back, if I can flip it around in my grip here, has been all masked off and spray painted. I still got tape on the windows and doors and stuff. I gotta get that off, but out of the back. So the next step with these is I did some studying up at paint.net. I found a whole bunch of images of 50s wallpaper and paint colors online. I got them saved as JPEG files. So the next step is to import those into paint.net, get them modified, so basically copy and paste them so they're a nice, like, 2-inch by 12-inch picture without zooming it, so it's one continuous thing and it's not zoomed up and distorted. But do that, print it out on some photo paper, and then glue it in on top of the paint, trim it around the openings and whatnot. I trim it around the glue lines, and then I'll put these on. I'll do the same thing to the floor, and then I'll move on to the next building. Because right now, whatever funds I get, they need to go towards fixing a couple track spots and fixing stuff like that. So it's not perfect, but at least the four walls and the floor will be done, so I can go ahead and glue those on and just leave the roof a loose fit, and I can go back sometime later and add interior and lighting and all that good stuff. So that's what's going on with that. Everything except the 4x8 is dead because I'm still working on patching up the 120 volt. About the only thing I've done towards that end is add another extension cord plug. So I'm up to here with that. Only thing left with that area, I got to do another one for this joint. I still have a piece of framing that goes there. And then patch it up all in there. Move the boxes in, move the light switches. That's a good hunk of work. So that is coming. And that's pretty much it as far as on the layout stuff. Oh, let me think a minute. Yeah, that's gonna do it as far as on the layout. So that's what's been going on the layout. There are a couple announcements. Actually, there's one major announcement. But before we get to that announcement, I want to do a couple channel shout outs. So, new subscribers: Creative Rails, Jared Downs, William Acolia, Ethan Short, and JT1. So, thank you guys for subscribing. There's your shout out. Appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy the comment. I did notice everyone especially liked the layout tour I put up of Mr. Spurgat's layout. I'll try to do more of those. Actually, the announcement, once we're done with it, I'll probably have the opportunity to do those fairly more frequently, along with actually some rail fanning videos a lot more often. But I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, thank you for those new subscribers. And then also a shout out to Indian Head Valley Railroad. He's got a nice little channel, nice little video blog. So go check him out. He's also a new not subscriber, new commenter. He'll have to comment on one of the videos. And then in case you haven't seen it, I also want to mention I have a video up, an interview with Charlie, Show Me Mall Railroad Company down in KC. Go watch it, give him a call. The guy is fantastic. His rates are extremely reasonable, prices and everything, but just there's more brick and mortar hobby shops out there than people think, but people don't know about them, so they don't support them. But once they know they're out there, they'll probably, buy stuff from them. So go check him out, give him some orders. He's been in the business 40 years, or close to it, and he loves what he does. So give him some business and help keep it from dying out and forcing him to give it up. That would be a horrible travesty. Okay, that is going to do it for progress and channel shout outs. The super big announcement that I'm going to take the next little bit to explain. Basically, make a long story short, we will eventually be moving to Alabama. I don't know when yet, but it is coming. So, obviously that begs the question of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to the layout? Well, fear not, this thing is sectional. It will be a bit of a pain to get apart. Not difficult, just tedious. So to go along with that, there is some stuff I need to do, prep work. I've got to add terminal strips over there, get all the bus and the sub buses cut and then labeled and hooked to the terminal strip. Finish up with the extension cord ends and all the 120 volt stuff over here. Obviously, go through everything, make sure I have it, get everything labeled. Most of it's already in boxes, so that's not too big a trouble. But as far as progress, obviously it's going to slow down. The plan is to focus in on rolling stock, because as a side thing of those powders, now for instance, like, where'd it go? Take my Santa Fe boxcar here. Oh, come on. You know, we all have these, the blue box freight cars, and it's like, oh, that's a horridly unrealistic floor. What are we going to do? Well, take the bottom off and put the powders on it. Because, I mean, those work wonders. So, that is the next big weathering binge I'm going to start doing, slowly but surely. Boxcar floors, flat car decks, the whole 9 yards. So that's something I can do pretty easily. So I'll be a lot of that. Load everything up in my toolkit, have a box of car kits to work on during the period where this layout probably won't be up. Everything will be dismantled and moved. However, here's the neat thing. Obviously it's going to be bittersweet. Bitter meaning I have to dismantle it, leave Jack and others here. But the town we're going to not only has an active rail line, it has a restored two-story depot with a train club in it that has op sessions. What looks like a vintage 1880s turntable and roundhouse next to it that is probably a museum. There's more footage. An active rail line. Did I already say that? Yes, I did. An active rail line. A tourist line about 20 minutes outside of town. An industrial short line. And I don't know this yet, but from the Google Earth photos, it looks like the power consists of an active RS3 on the roster. So those of you who keep track of short line motive power, it's rare enough to see basically anything outside of Jeeps. There's still GP7s, GP9s knocking around there on short lines. But even they're rare. Everything else is, you don't even see SW900s that much. So an RS3 inactive freight service outside of a tourist line or a museum, that's going to be pretty awesome if it's actually the case. So we'll see. I'll see when I get down there, see what it is. So obviously layout videos are going to go down. However, if I can get the simulator to cooperate, there will be some more trains episodes. And then once we get down there, there's going to be episodes from the club. I'm going to try and do a lot more rail fanning, so I'll be looking for that. And then the division headquarters for NMRA's Mid-South Division is a 20-minute drive away. So they also have a layout that does operations, and both their layout and the club have a working signal system. So there will be plenty of content there, and then there's about, 40 modelers in and around the area of the town where we're moving to. So I'm sure some of those are master model railroaders, and I'm sure some of those people have layouts. So even there's even more footage, op sessions, layout tours, interviews. It's gonna be pretty cool. So it'll still be a little ways out. It's coming. I'm not going to do anything more with bench work because I won't have time, and it's coming on winter, and no fun. So, but like I said, I'm going to start tackling the floors on freight cars, and then of course, getting everything ready to go and finishing the prep work and whatnot. I'm going to try and make another trip down to another trip down to Jack's, and maybe do an interview with him. I gotta get his freight cars back. And then also the Mid-America Toy and Train Show on the 25th. I'm gonna go to that. So if you see me, come up and say hi. I'll probably have a name tag on my shirt with the channel name. So anyways, that's that. So that is going to do it pretty much. Obviously, something different coming up with this move. But once we get down there, oh my gosh, I'm going to have so much more content. And, I'm not going to be a lone wolf and a guy up here in the middle of nowheres. It's going to be awesome. So, all right, that is going to do it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, one more thing, dummy. I can't believe I almost forgot that. This is very important, people. Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, mrh.com. Yours truly has a blog. Yep, you heard me right. I've got a blog. So it is going to be pretty much in between, like, there's posts on there about the history of the hawking, how I'm proto-freelancing it, and then there's been a couple in-progress pictures of doing the ink wash and the spray painting and stuff to that. I gotta get a whole bunch more and do another post with, the finished result and the porch and the wallpaper, and that'll be a tutorial, obviously. So that's going to be in between, behind the scenes stuff. And just check them out anyways. There's a lot of really good forums and advice and whatnot on there. But, oh, and hopefully soon I'm going to make out an order, so I'll also have the stuff to fix that. Have a couple other things, as well as some PCB ties, some gap masters. Fix this spot up. I got to fix some kinks there. That's probably the last bit of track work I'm going to do before we move. And then I'm going to focus on getting the computer power supply hooked up so I can start reattaching Torx switch machines to the turnouts. Alright, that's actually going to do it. So, as always, check out the Model Railroad Hobbyist. There is a link on my channel. You have to go to the About tab because YouTube only displays the first 5 links, and there's like 8 links on my channel. So go to the About tab, go to my homepage, then click About. Down towards the bottom you will see a list of all the links, so there will be one to my blog. So check that out. Check out the novel on fanfiction.net, the Pinterest, the Google Plus pages, the blogs I've linked to, all that good stuff. And as always, comment, like, subscribe, click the bell icon if you choose to do so, and you'll get notified whenever I upload a video. So as always, this is Goose and the Caboose Productions saying, everybody take care, God bless, thank you for watching. There are plenty of good things ahead, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.